I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Phew.
looks like we managed to stay in the game.
Say that again, Edgeworth. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
Chief. Chief, you're something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe.
I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Ah, don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office.
Yes! My office.
Private Investigator Gumshoe.
Let's go.
Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knot girl you used to work with.
Could he be Maya? I forgot
Still.
about her.
Looks like we're all out of motives now.
Moves.
Chief Cat's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand?
It's not fair, he has the right to refuse to testify.
Settle down, right? Remember what the judge said?
But Chief, that's not a right to be casually involved. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that?
It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true.
You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too?
You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too?
Oh, I thought we just have to guess those.
I know.
Emma, are you okay?
Yeah. When I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I always feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah. Now I finally know what's happened. To think all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she'd changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? Follow Chief Grant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to.
That must have been why she became so cold.
It's all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Yeah!
We live in a society. Chief Camp may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. And knocked Mr. Marshall into armor.
I see.
Well, better get back. It's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait here?
No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, right? It's time to end this.
Emma's gonna have to convince her to tell the truth.
Class of mighty brotherhood.
And I love that us and Edgeworth, as the defense and the opposition, are just working together to like fucking find the truth.
Nobody can escape.
It's how courts. Isn't in theory this is how courts should work, but it's not.
Nobody can escape justice, Martin.
Yeah, team justice. It's just like fawns and flowers.
Solve one case at a time.
Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the stand?
Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. Oh god. I'm gonna fall over. Hang on. I'm having a moment. I'm sure you're aware of what's required of you.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth.
Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Well, I mean, there are some things that could happen that could change that, but they're not going to happen today.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gaunt. Gaunt? Oh. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Doc convicted. It had nothing to do with Ima.
And I was hoping that should be helpful.
Are you
in this.
sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I am confessing to capital offense. Of course, I am sure.
But Lana...
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. So that's what I've been telling you from the beginning.
Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth? Come on, Phoenix.
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. I always wanted to poke her as a child. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
So how should I scoot along? Alright. Time to press.
How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so it would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That is why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still do not get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And? I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago, all by myself. Did you do so to help your sister? Jodak was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I did not want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable as self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That is not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him.
Lana.
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. You say you did this all by yourself.
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the scene of the crime?
It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body?
Thank you.
Where the fuck is that knife?
The broken prosecutor's award knife was stuck in the victim's body.
What? Yeah, where the fuck is that?
But it was the spear.
But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident.
Oh, hold up. The stream is having a little moment. At least on my
Gonna
end.
give it a moment. Gonna give it a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a moment.
Minute
It's
moment.
apparently it's unstable. But we kind of knew that.
Ooh.
Poor network connection. I think it's just the network today has just been a sad one.
This is getting recorded and going on YouTube. That's
Yeah, it's gonna be okay, but it has. I think it's cut out a few times.
My
so
stream seems okay, but I've not had the audio on because it's distracting.
yeah. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
The
should I continue?
Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate. Sorry, were you going to tell me just something? The Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you deemed was possible. The reality is it was not my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
Do you mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Doc?
Something like that.
If that's so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Doc was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies.
I'll just protect me. So
Well,
much
mind you.
lying.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Doc's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body.
Okay, but how?
How? Press. You planted the tip of Doc's... and then you moved the body?
No, Edward, you're asking the wrong question.
I know. How? Not why, how?
Nobody
Why the-
asks. Like, why and who?
You know why?
But what we really should be asking is how.
Yeah, how the fuck did she do that?
Does nobody listen to Dave Bautista? Nobody? That was a Marvel reference.
I see.
Yes. You've been
I'll do you one better. Why is...
yes.
What's it?
Exactly.
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it would be, by Chief Gunt's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple. There were dark walls. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body. The pieces of the jaw that shattered during the events threatened my plan.
What? But why?
Because they had emo written on them for one thing.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Pieces of the jar? Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Doc committed the murder, the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what had happened. Neil Marshall was dead and Doc was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see.
What's the matter, Emma? Oh.
What's the matter, Emma?
Apparently, the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that.
There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Yeah, too right. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Doc convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. But why hide the jar, like... So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence?
She's lying. She did it so that I wouldn't be blamed for what happened.
In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my action.
Mr. Wright, my sister's lying.
Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself.
There's no way she could have done it alone.
I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Right.
Right, yeah, what's the contradiction here?
I think it's about the jar, because that's what Emma was. Like, what's the next bit? What's after that? We didn't find blood on the spear, but we found blood on the floor.
Yeah, but that's because it was cleaned and the floor wasn't cleaned.
The floor wasn't clean.
We had a whole, like, text thing about that when we were in the office the second time. Man, I have no idea.
Is it the last one in the jar? It's the fact that the jar has had Emma written on it. Emma's written on something. So I think the last one.
Present.
I think the jar contradicts that.
Yeah?
The jar had Emma written on it. No. Do you want to save it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we ought to.
Look at the court record. That's what we need to be staring at. What's the left one? That's right. What's in there?
Closed, perpetrator, serial murder, death, victims, witnesses,
notice any of that.
No.
Rough. What's with the cloth with Emma's fingerprints on it? What is that?
To present the piece of cloth? I don't know where else we'd place it.
I don't think it's rule 2, do you? The problem the first time was it wasn't relevant. Well, I guess this is how we make it relevant. I have no idea what's with that cloth. Because Emma apparently shoved them and passed out.
I'm just gonna read through this again, really quickly.
Yeah.
Trying, yes. Jar was already possibly shattered to pieces. Well, this is interesting. Because if it had been shattered to pieces during the crime, then why would having Emma... He would have had to write Emma's name on the jar before breaking the jar.
That's true. Lana broke the jar. Lana had to break the jar. From there, if it was still on the shelf, he could have then wrote Emma's name on it. Emma's name. And then Lana saw it. Smash and wipe. Wipe and smash.
Apparently, the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I feel there's more to it than that.
Yeah. She smashed the jar.
No, she has smashed it.
They already presented the jar because that's what we thought.
No, we presented the jar to a different text. We presented it to the next piece of text.
Yeah.
As proof that she cared about Emma.
Okay, so we were just off by this phrase, okay.
Yeah.
Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony. You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it at its final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died.
Yep. Yep. Gotcha,
Oh.
bitch.
Oh. He could have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Oda! Oda!
Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regards to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here.
Something critical.
Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we are headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room, and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
Which means Gant had to have got there first to remove a piece.
Yeah. You mean you're the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time.
She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case. But not as feeble as the judge's judgment.
You're an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces?
Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case.
Hannah, you'd do that for me?
Seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking.
What I don't understand is why write someone's name on a jar before you've been murdered by them.
Well, he was on the spike, right?
Yeah, but the jar got knocked at the same time he got skewered.
No, it didn't.
No?
I don't think so. We've said that. He couldn't have written the name on a shattered jar.
Yeah, exactly. He couldn't have written the name on a shattered jar. Which means... The jar was in the air. Why write someone's name on a jar who didn't murder you before it fell?
No, he didn't. Because it was in his blood, so he had to have at least been stabbed.
So
the way I understood it as of now was he got shoved on the spike.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote her name on the jar. And I thought Lana would have come in and smashed it.
No.
But Lana's now said that she found it broken.
Yeah. Because it broke.
So
what happened?
I think Gant's come in and broke it. And
Well,
put
maybe.
a piece in it and hidden a piece.
We still don't know who these people were. We just assumed that they were Dark and Neil.
Well, we
because
know
that's
Neil
what makes
ended
more
up on the
sense.
statue because he
Yeah.
died.
But what we also know is that this jar is broken. And this jar broke at the same time that Neil ended up on the spike.
No, we don't know that.
Yeah, we do.
No, we guessed that, and then it turned out
Because
to be
that's
wrong,
what Emma
because
told
then-
us. Like
But
Emma
we
said.
decided that was. But then when we said he couldn't have written the name in a broken jar, we were disproving that.
Yeah.
Because he could have landed on the spike and he could have reached the jar if it was still on the shelf to write the name.
But the jar wasn't on the shelf because when she knocked into Dark, Dark then knocked into the wall and knocked the jar off the shelf. The jar had to have been broken when he was dead. Or when he was dying on the spike.
I don't think so. That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly! That's my point! It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so I don't
Therefore,
think that's the
somebody
case.
wrote the name before the jar broke.
Oh, that doesn't make any. That needs to. Yeah, before the jar broke, but it broke late because it broke later, not because someone came in hours earlier and with blood and wrote her name on it.
We've got more to press.
I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation?
Lana,
I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. And she didn't get them all. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. We call them cell phones.
and I carry an emergency luminol wherever I go.
I never miss anything. I got every last piece. If that's true, then that means that they hit a piece after the fact. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene. Yes. I don't have any excuse for my actions.
I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I treated you so badly all this time.
It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident. No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this in the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Shit me.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this again really quickly. Yes. So this again. All right, I'm gonna save it as well really quickly.
Okay.
I wanna push my line of thoughts,
Okay.
which I know you don't think's right, but I'm a strong believer in that this jar present. I really started to hype that up that I was wrong.
Your Honor, what do you think of this? I'm not sure.
God damn it, Phoenix.
Why am I not surprised? Um. Because the jar doesn't say one piece was found in the safe, does it? Oh, final fragment found achievement. Yeah, so do that one, yeah.
Against this?
Yeah. Because if she found them all, there would have been one in the safe. Because it would have been in evidence. Or they would have all been in the safe.
There we go.
This guy, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. But we found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. Yep. That's the point. Yep. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped all the blood off of them. Yes. Which leaves us with only one explanation.
Gant got there first.
Gant got there first. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. That's exactly what I said. Man, so vindicating. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that?
Yes, yes I can. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, that.
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar.
Yep.
Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar?
The
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a good question, yeah.
Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that?
I cannot.
Yeah, no. Get that asshole back here and get handcuffs on him. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here.
Darren Gant arrived at the scene of the crime prior to the witness. He proceeded to then break the jar and purposefully hid one bit of the broken pieces. What is this action called?
Fabrication of evidence. Well, why would Chief Gant do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence and incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the Chief's puppet.
No! I did it on my own!
Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake.
No! You didn't! It was not you, Emma! Emma! You didn't kill anyone! Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says! Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend our clients!
Even if it's me!
Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. What the fuck? Judge, go fuck yourself. Wait a minute. What if... We're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Sorry, everyone's getting this accent now. Lana may be right after all.
What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies, Mr. Wright?
Miss Skye, please testify once more.
Hmm?
But... if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
But
here we go.
I do remember knocking over, which is why somebody wrote his goddamn name in blood and then broke the jar. The order of events was wrong.
Just showed up and pinned it on her. Yep.
Just like
Absolutely.
I said. Sleuthy Saturdays!
Sleuthy Saturdays! It was flies! BAM! The sky, if you will. I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is the possibility that it will, if you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the suit of armor's sword. Emma and Doc were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword.
You're the only one who saw that, if you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof.
Hmm?
I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me?
The book?
It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. What?
God damn it! You didn't look in the book right.
I said check the book!
Yes, and we did check the book.
I did check the book. I thought it might be needed. Oh, we didn't 3D the book!
Yeah.
But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. 3D the book!
Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. 3D the book, Mr. Wright.
3D the book! Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana.
Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? Let's check the evidence again. 3D the book.
3D the book! Oh my god, it's good! Our evidence is going to go to the fourth page. Oh no, it's going to replace this. Rotate. Zoom in enhance. Add peel. Like she just keep that hanging around. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my god. Where's the knife coming out? It's not. I thought they said he was impaled.
Oh my. This is the actual crime scene.
No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Mr. Wright. Which, again, makes no sense how he could have written the name on the vase. How could he, like, he's clearly very dead there.
Well, we said he didn't die right away. Like, hanging on the thing, he could have. He was in reach. Because it would have still been on the shelf. So he was within reach to do it.
That piece. Cut out from his vest, could it be?
The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe!
Which again proves that he must have got there first.
But Emma's fingerprints are on that! Oh, but he could have fucking. Oh my god.
Yeah, he cut the cloth
What's
off.
this? And then put it against her fucking fingers.
This is a handprint, isn't it? The cloth. It had my fingerprints on it.
She doesn't know that. No.
Whoever's fingerprints, those...
No, Emma, we're not going down that line of thought.
Oh, it must be
No.
the real murderer.
What? Are those fingerprints? They're yours, Emma.
Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer.
We're going into overtime, folks. We're past 6.
You know.
Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. But as said, we're finishing this today, and I intend to finish this today.
Actual crime scene.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body and buildings and suit of...
Oh! Hold it! Come now, Aji. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen.
Chief Guard!
What? Now you make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two for my defense.
No, you refuse to testify.
I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify.
Yep, fuck off.
That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
This must be that risk we were talking about earlier.
Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Yuck!
Man, he is Magneto.
So what? You think I'm worried?
Well, you did just kind of explode.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean?
That sounds like a statement.
The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Can you fuck call me? Sit back down. Oh.
Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean... you still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't. But someone does.
He knows we have the cloth. Yeah. Someone.
So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it?
You presented that a fucking hour and a half ago, so fuck you.
I know.
You're like, put that back.
You have something to show us, right? Something that proves you knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt?
Is it true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma is sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the court. The Board of Inquiries. Sorry, probably too slow. What do I do now? You have to present it. I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? Yes. Yeah. It doesn't show who really killed President Marshall. It's forged. It's forged evidence. Sure. We have to show it. Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence.
Alright. The time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the chief's.
We maybe should have saved. Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. It doesn't.
Oh my god, we do have 4 pages.
Oh, is that a 4th page? Holy shit.
Which means we might still use this book.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's a piece of leather cloth. Yes, it's most likely cut from the victim's vest near the chest.
What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the saw.
What? Whose fingerprints are on this?
I'm sure Raito has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they?
Well, whose are they? They're Miss Sky's. Miss Emma Skies.
What? They're mine? So I really did do it? Told you so. I told you it was conclusive.
But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? Once again, we had a detective at the time.
But
Give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death.
no. It appears we have our killer.
What crime are we investigating right now?
I know, right? Like, no! Is that GG? Fuck.
Ugh. What? That's so bullshit. That's so bullshit.
That is bullshit. Well, so now the game's teaching us to hide evidence. Which was the biggest reason I was like, we have to show it because Phoenix Wright wouldn't just not show evidence.
Ugh, I didn't say. Hang on.
Fuck! Right, it's about 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes real time. We'll click through this. Fuck's sake! The game wants us to not show evidence. There we go. So it's the jar to that.
That's the chart of that. Good. I'm glad you remember.
Just fucking mash through. When we get to that point, save again, because we can show other evidence.
Yes. No, we couldn't.
Yes, we could.
Oh, we could, yeah.
Well, we maybe, well, you know, we selected the evidence. I don't know if there's other
we did
evidence,
actually, yeah.
But we could, maybe it's maybe not that we don't show evidence. It's maybe that we show something else. Is my point. It's not we're not necessarily stuck to saying we don't have evidence. Because if we say we don't have evidence, then we're in contempt of court. But if we show other evidence, which is more conclusive, then maybe that's okay.
Well, what is the other evidence?
I have no idea.
Such confidence.
I'm just saying it's possible.
Getting rid of all this stuff. We had a long conversation.
Christ. I'm gonna go loo again while we do this. I've drank far too much water.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it. My god. Yeah, I really did need to save it more frequently, I think. Right, here we go. I don't remember how we passed this. I think we just testified over and over again. Oh yeah, we got the yeah, we got the photo out of the book from this. Yes. I remember. Okay. Okay. Mysterious photo revealed once again. Nearly back. That's where we were. Handprints. I'm gonna try and pay attention to what Gant says.